Hello guys, this is Film God here, and today on this tutorial I'm going to show you a very super easy way to color grade your footages. And then after that I'll show you how to save it as a lookup table or a LUT so that you can use it on your subsequent videos. I'm basically going to show you how to get from this to this. Very easy, few steps, few minutes, and you're done. Tap in less than 5 minutes you're done with this color grade. So let's just get right into it. So now we are in Premiere. We are in Premiere Pro. Like I said, I'm just basically going to teach you a very quick way to color grade your footages, but there are going to be 2 steps that I'm going to use. The steps are to first color correct your pictures or your footages, and then you color grade your footages. Now let me just drag my footage into the timeline. Once I have my footage in the timeline, I need to color correct my footage, and the first step to do that is to do it on an adjustment layer. So you go onto your project file or your project space, and you click on adjustment layer, okay, and then you drag and drop your adjustment layer on the footage. So once you have your color corrected or your color correction adjustment layer on the footage, you need to color correct your footage now. But mind you need to be able to use your Lumetri scope. I normally use Lumetri scopes to be able to know where my highlights are supposed to get to and where my shadows are supposed to get to when I'm color correcting. That gives you the perfect balance. Okay, so when you go to your Lumetri scopes and you go to curves, you just have to make an S here in your curves. And whilst you are adjusting your curve, you need to look at the Lumetri scopes. Now, this is a basic way to be able to know where your shadows should reach and where your highlights should reach. If you look at the Lumetri scope, you can see that you have the shadows up to 0 and you have the highlights up to 100. Now you make 2 dots or 2 clicks on your curve. Now you drag the shadow part, you drag the shadow part down. If you look at your Lumetri scope, you can see that when you dragged it down, the wave came down. If you look at the waveform, the wave came down, and if you see your shadows came down to 0, closer to 0. Don't let it go below 0. Let just right up to 0. All right, and then you pull your highlights also up, and do not let your highlights also get to the 100 mark. Just about to get to the 100 mark, and then you will see that you have a perfect balance of your footage. You know, if you want to do any other adjustment to the footage, let it look in a different way. It's all up to you. You need to be able to tweak and play around it a lot so that you can get a perfect, you know, what clip that or video look that you want. But then the basic thing is to get it well lighted. You have the perfect contrast and the perfect highlight, and this is the best way to do it, to have an S on your curve and you're good to go. Now once you're done with the color correction, you go to adjustment layer again, and this time you're about to color grade the footage. So you put another adjustment layer on the footage, on the color corrected footage, and then get ready to grade. Now I'm going to teach you a basic orange and teal kind of grade, which is very popular amongst Hollywood filmmakers and all that. So when you go to your Lumetri color, you go to your color wheel. I'm going to use this color. I'm going to use the shadow, the midtones, and the highlights to practically color grade a whole thing in a very simple way. Now normally I push my shadows to the teal part, not too much, just right about here, and I pull my midtones to the orange section, just right about here. So I'll just pull a little contrast in my midtones, pull my shadows a little up, just right about here, and then I'll also put a little orange in my highlights, just a little, and I push the knob right above this place. Simple. I'm just done. That's just it. Yeah, so once you pull your shadows to the teal part, and then you pull your midtones to the orange and your highlights also to the orange part of it, and it's just the simple way to whatever color grade footages, any footage that you have. Very, very simple way. Yeah, so you can do a little bit of tweaks. It all depends on you, whether you want to make it a little more contrasty. You can just go to your basic correction and pull more contrast in there. If you want to reduce highlight, you can still do that. If you want to add a little shadow, if you want to pull highlights out, it all depends on you. But the basic way to color grade is to color correct using the S form, and then to grade, we're using teal orange in your color wheel in this format. Once you're done with this, good. So if let's just check the progress we made from here. So if you can look, this is the flat image which I shot on Lumix GH5s. Okay, so with the color correction, this is how the image looked like, and then after the grade, this is how the image look like now. It's very, very basic, very, very easy to do. You can do this in just 5 minutes if you master it. It all depends on you, if you want to tweak it, if you want to play around and get a different look. So now let me just apply another one on this footage, very, very quick one. The same routine, the same strategy. I'll use it to do the same thing on this footage. So if you look at this footage, same, you drag your adjustment layer onto the footage. All right, okay, you go to your curves, you go to your curve, you hit your Lumetri scope, you make 2 points, one at the shadow end and the one at the highlight end. You drag it down, you drag the highlights up, just as it about to hit 0 and just as it's about to hit 100. Okay, then you get a perfect exposed, you get a perfect exposed footage. You know, your highlights and your shadows are perfectly in line, it's balanced. Okay, so now I can just practically I'll just practically drag the color graded footage on this instead of doing the whole thing again. See, and it's perfect. It looks perfect on this footage as well. This is a graded, this is the graded, and this is the corrected, this is the graded. Simple, perfect graded, perfectly graded in a few seconds, a few minutes. You're able to do this. Very, very easy, very, very quick. You don't have to stress. Okay, you don't have to stress at all. Okay, so you can play it through and see how it looks like. Okay, so after it's rendered through, you can play it and you see way perfect, way perfect. Very, very, very simple, very, very easy to do this. Very, very easy to do that. After you're done with it, you can just save it as a lookup table and then use it any other time that you want to grade your footage, so that you wouldn't have to go through all the process again. Very, very easy. This is just how to do it. You go to your adjustment layer, the adjustment layer that the grade is done on it. You just go to your Lumetri color panel, you click the 3 horizontal lines here. You go to export to, normally it's cube, I use cube. So the cube will give you the lookup table or the LUT. You can save it at any place on your computer, on your project computer. I've already saved this, so yeah. And you can practically use this LUT that you've developed every time on your footage, so you don't have to go through all the process again. Okay, so if you like this video, like, comment, share, and then subscribe. Most of all, subscribe so that I can give you more of the videos. If you have any other questions, or if you have any questions at all that you need to ask, just type in the comment section. I'll read, I'll answer. Yeah, so yeah, subscribe to the channel and I'll give you more videos. I'll probably teach you everything you need to know in post. So yeah, Same time, some other time, guys.